Hello everyone. Purpose of this speech to inform the audience on how to play Texas Hold'em. Now, in order to understand the game of Texas Hold'em, we must look at how the cards are dealt and played, and finally, how to bet and win hands. Now, most people have been clicking through the channels on the television and have seen a poker tournament or two as they've been clicking through the channels. Now, I want you to imagine yourself sitting at that poker table with a huge stack of chips in front of you, and people are showing you respect based on how you're playing the game. Now, poker is about luck, but it takes a little bit of skill in order to last into the later rounds and eventually win. Hello, my name is David Deters. Today I'll inform you about the game that exploded onto the scene just a few years ago, Texas Hold'em. Now, I'll be covering how the cards are dealt and played and how to bet and win hands. Now, Texas Hold'em is played with a standard 52 card playing deck. Each of the players is dealt 2 hole cards, which the deal is going to go clockwise. So the deal is going to go to your left around in a circle until everybody has 2 cards, and the final card is dealt to the dealer themselves, unless you have an actual dealer in a casino. Now, dealer button is going to be passed around clockwise as well, and this has to do with betting and forced bets, which are called the big blind and the small blind. Now, the player 2 spaces from the dealer button has the forced bet called the big blind. Now, the big blind is the full amount of the forced bet, which is predetermined prior to the hand. Now, the player 1 space to the left of the dealer is known as the small blind, and that's going to be half of the big blind's forced bet. And that's a bet that they have to play regardless of what cards they have. They can choose to fold, but they still have to have those chips out there. They can't pull those chips back. Now, betting occurs every round. After the players are dealt their 2 cards face down, everybody's going to get a turn going clockwise, and the bet starts with the person to the left of the big blind because they haven't been forced to bet yet. Now that player can call, they can raise the bet, or they can fold. Now, after all the betting has concluded, the dealer is going to turn up 3 hole cards onto the table. These are going to be known as the community cards, and the nickname for it is called the flop. After the flop, there will be another betting round. The betting round will start this time from the person to the left of the dealer, or the old small blind position. Now, the bets normally have to be at least meet the big blind's bet from the previous round. So if the big blind bet was $50, the bet is going to be $50 and up. Now, after all betting's concluded, the dealer is going to put out 1 more card in the community, and that is going to be known as the turn. Another betting round occurs with the person starting to the left of the dealer button. Now, once all that betting is concluded, they're going to put up 1 final card, and that's known as the river. Now, there will be 5 community cards out there. Everybody can use these cards, and you want to make your best 5-card hand out of the 7 cards you have, which adds up as the 5 in the community and then the 2 cards face down in your hand that nobody can see. Now that we understand how the game is dealt and it's played, let's look at how to bet and how to win hands. Now, during the first betting round, each player must at least call the big blind to stay in. Now, if the player wishes to raise the bet, they need to do at least 2 times the big blind. So if the big blind was $50, they have to at least double that to make it $100. Now, if a bet is placed out and it does not meet the minimum bet requirements, the player will be forced to call, but loses their option to bet or raise. Now, the 2 cards in your hand play a big part in whether you want to play the hand. Remember that the 5 community cards are for everyone else on the table to use. So you want to be aware of straights or possible flush draws. You want to play hands, of course, that have high values if they are the same suit. So you would probably want to play ace king suited rather than playing 2-3 suited. Now low cards in your hand can be good as well if they're the same suit, because if you're going to have 2-3 of hearts, if ace 4-5 comes out on the community, then you're going to have a straight, and nobody's probably going to think that you have 2-3 down in your hand. So now that we've discussed a little bit of the betting structure and how we're going to win the hands, let's recap. Today we discussed how cards are dealt and played and how to bet and win hands. So now that you know the basics of the game, let's shuffle up cards and deal.